Hey everybody, Andy here, and today I'm really excited to show you the latest camera from Sony, the FS700. This is the big brother to the FS100 and has several small improvements as well as some major improvements over the 100. So really excited to show this to you today. The first thing we're going to talk about with this camera, and this is just a quick look, there's a lot to go over. The first thing is the new sensor. The sensor in this camera is a 11.6 megapixel sensor. Very high resolution. You're actually using just about 8.3 megapixels of that for video application and for 4K. So this is just a slight hint at what I'll talk about in the future, but it is a 4K ready camera. So 8.3 megapixels uses a lot of resolution, but they kept the sensitivity around the same, actually the same as the 100. A base sensitivity of 500 ISO at 0 dB, going up to 1600 ISO, and they actually have the ability to see ISO in the camera now. Very nice. So all that in the sensor. In addition to that, it also has some high-speed functionality. You can shoot in burst modes up to 240 frames and beyond that in lower resolutions. But at 240 at full resolution on the sensor in a burst mode, about 8 seconds. So really amazing high-speed sensor. Fully functional, and it is 4K ready. We'll talk about that in 1 second. I still have an E-mount on this camera, same as the FS100. It's their very short Sony mount, which means it can be stepped up to any number of different lens mounts as needed. I have the Alpha mount on here, the LE-AE2 on here right now, which allows me to talk to my Alpha lenses and control things like iris and focus, and I can do face tracking with this. It's really amazing, actually, the face tracking and really quick focusing it can do. It uses phase focusing, which is amazingly fast. Phase detection focusing can really quickly focus on many things, and it works very well now with the camera and these Alpha lenses. I can take that off though and put any kind of lens adapter I want on there, and just E-mount lenses, of course. Really big news for a lot of people though is the inclusion of ND filters on the camera. Everyone wanted that on the FS100. Now you got it. ND filters, a 4th, a 16th, a 64th, right on the side of the camera there as needed. Just flip them up and in as needed. So, and it works very well. Otherwise, on the side of the camera, very much the same sort of functionality. A couple small things like flipping into photo mode for photos. You can do that, take photos at the full resolution of the sensor. It actually uses the Alpha type image processing for stills. Pretty amazing that way. The buttons there are all raised now versus before on the side of the camera. People complained about the buttons being too hard to hit with gloves on. They're all raised up, easier to access. This is just a nice feature to have when using for usability of the camera. The screen here is still a touchscreen display, and I still have the little hood that can go onto it as needed. I like that a lot. And the menu controls are basically the same up top. Over on the back, though, you're going to see there is a couple of new things that we all want to know about, which is the inclusion of HD SDI. There's a little HD SDI port right back here. You can put out 6DI or 50i or true progressive PSF signals. So easy to get progressive signals out with time code and audio embedded. This is a big feature to have. And then additionally, you can also put out of the camera in the future a full 4096 2160 raw 12-bit sensor output, raw data outputting out of the camera, just like that. Amazing improvement. This is a huge possibility with this camera. It is a 4K ready camera, and it can output that raw data. Now you got to send this into a Sony recorder that's not yet available that will take that data in, and then you can process that into whatever you want to do with that, including 4K, 2K, and beautiful HD content. But it's amazing to have that information available to you, and such a low-priced camera. 4K is obviously the future-proofing of this camera, so it has that ability with future workflow options. So 4K out of there. Additionally, at the same time, even I could put HDMI out of the camera and interlace or progressive as well. That's important. That's a big thing. I have my two on the side of the camera here. I have two XLR inputs. Now they've moved one up to the front here to make it a little more sense with it. So the audio comes in here and back here. And then I also have my recorder. So the camera still records internally in AVC HD. So this is my FMU, this is my storage unit. I also have an SD card slot over here on the camera. This is where I can store AVC HD. So it is an 8-bit camera internally. The STI comes out 8-bit, but I can do 4K 12-bit all at the same time. Crazy. But internally, it does AVC HD for long recording times, etc. Additionally, on the side here, which is missing, I have a little rosette. This is an Airy rosette, Airy style rosette, and it will come with a handle there with some buttons on it, start, stop, etc., and a zoom rocker. So in the future, there'll be some lenses, hopefully from Sony, that will actually allow you to use this zoom rocker to zoom a lens. So this is big upcoming news as well. A very cool thing. And then a smaller, subtler thing here is this new handle. I love this new, very, very sturdy, very strong handle. I know Sony did a lot of research and development to make this handle as strong as possible. They have a little shoe mount here for the microphone, but I have 2 shoes otherwise I can use, and a 1/4-20 and a 3/8/16. It's just really strong and sturdy. I like that a lot as well. So there's just a huge amount of functionality in this thing. I'm just really impressed that Sony has kind of come up with this at an affordable price point. So another thing I really like about it is just the form factor of it. It's beefier than the FS100, and I do think on your shoulder here it'd be quite nice with a viewfinder in the front. I can really see how you can build it up to make this a really very impressive shoulder-mounted sort of system. So I like that. And if you compare it to the FS100, here's the 100, you can see that the 700 is a little bit bigger, little beefier, but I do like it. I think it's an improvement, and it feels much more sturdy overall. So I like that as well. So really impressed with this camera. It sort of came out of nowhere. So really glad to see that Sony's constantly evolving their systems. We'll learn more about this at NEB. We'll make more videos. We'll test the sensor out for more functionality, and of course we'll follow that 4K workflow as it develops. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.